I was reproducing stuff that I don't understand. Hi, my name is Jessie and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to discuss a topic that I think is really interesting. If you've clicked on that video, it's because either you're you're an artist, you're an entrepreneur, or you're in some field that requires your creativity to work for you. If that makes sense. Okay, so let's jump right into it. I think the first thing not to do, okay, is to not go on social media such as Pinterest, Twitter, Pinterest and Instagram. I think these are like the two main social media tools that people use to find inspiration. At least that was my story. And what I found out after taking inspiration from these platforms is that later when I look at my work, I'm like, wow, I was reproducing stuff that I don't understand. Because sometimes you see maybe an artist wear certain clothes for I don't know, like for example, okay, what example could I use? Okay, I think I'm gonna use a current example, something that I lived. So I had this project that involved women, okay, and this project was the goal of this project was to empower women, to empower Black women more specifically. And you know, there's this trend where Black women, like Rihanna, she did when she was nominated in the CFDA. It's something that has to do with fashion. She wore this gown, a gown with sparkles, a little similar to Marilyn Monroe when she sang Happy Birthday to the President, and kind of the same dress that even Kim Kardashian wore. But I think this dress is a type of dress that we see a lot in the Hollywood world. But she was wearing this dress where her nipples were showing. And at first I was like, well, it was in my younger days. I think it was like 2016. So when I saw that photo, I was like, wow, okay, this is fashion. This is really like risque. This is, you know, I was shocked, but at the same time, I was like, okay, if this is fashion, this is fashion. And then this image was ingrained in my brain. And the reason why I'm saying this is that this project that I've worked on that was meant to empower Black women specifically, I did this project in 2021 or 2020. And I came to realize that the nipple showing, because I integrated that type of fashion in my videos, to find out that this was a ritual used back in France in the 17th century with Portrait de la Négresse. And also, I think Lil' Kim also had one nipple showing, but it was her left. And then we have also Janet Jackson when she performed with Justin Timberlake. Her right breast was showing, was uncovered during the show. And then, if I do remember, in the Vanity Fair event that they have every week, the girlies, or at least the women, were wearing gowns where their nipples were showing. And also I integrated that fashion even in my direct series, which all the work that I'm talking about are available on my website if you're curious. Yeah, okay, so that's the thing. It's just that when you go online, you don't really understand what you're looking at. And I think from my research, I found out that the nipples uncovered, these are, it's called the Golden Dawn ritual, but it has to do with Aleister Crowley, the Phoenix Woman, the Siren, and all this stuff, okay? So I thought it was like liberating, fashion, risque, and beautiful, when in reality, it was humiliating. It was like a humiliation. Yeah, okay. Okay, so the other thing that I can give as an advice, as an experience is, I think nature is the best way to look for inspo, because sometimes we tend to look at the other, what's going on with the other, But truly, when we take a look at our surrounding, our story, our experiences, the thing we've seen, that we've witnessed, and also the beautiful colors of the sky, the nature, the environment, even though the environment is not like the cleanest environment, but just looking at the stars, the sky, the clouds, and even the trees, the grass, the birds, all of this stuff are really good for inspo. And it reminds me of Solomon in the Bible. So listen, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and all these amazing books, these poetry books, were written by Solomon, the richest man, and his attention to gain wisdom was by studying and looking at the creatures, the grass, the flowers, and all this good stuff that are literally there for us to experience. Okay, now another thing, how to find inspo. I think also one thing to maybe consider is the colors. What colors, okay, what's the feeling that you want to, when the people are looking at your work, what's the feeling you want to evoke? And feelings are, well, it's, to play with feelings, you have to know your colors. That's all I'm going to say. For example, it's not for no reason that the sky is blue. It's not for no reason that the grass is green. It's not for no reason that the bodies of trees are brown, and so I think colors, it's a good start. And then even with the patterns too. And when I say patterns, like the arrangement, the structure, the composition, and this is something you can look in your surrounding with the forms. Like, pay attention to what attracts you. And then when you pay attention to what you're attracted to, you can see the similarities. You can maybe notice stuff that you wouldn't if you hadn't paid attention to. And also, one thing to know in terms of inspiration. In the past, scientists, when they would make discoveries and study stuff and etc., it was generally by observation. Okay, by observing, they were able to come up with a lot of books. And for example, one thing that I want to also emphasize is that the question is, I did a video and the question was, what's more powerful, words or visuals? And the visuals, we can think of the environment. You don't need no words to study birds, to study the trees and the etc. But the source of everything, because when I think of the stories like the Little Chaperon Rouge, when I think of the superheroes and all the fashion that we can think of, the dresses, the colors, the white that represents that we use for the weddings as a symbol for purity, all this stuff comes from the Bible. Okay, I'm exaggerating. Well, I'm not exaggerating. That's a fact. Everything comes from the Bible. Okay, from the Word of God, in other words. And also something that I had to learn is that by reading my Bible, I see the world different. So definitely, what I'm reading makes me see things differently. And also, another fact that I want to mention is that, so I have the Bible with, it's just writings, no images, but still yet the words that I'm reading, I'm able to, have images produced in my brain just by reading the words. And also another thing that is interesting is that even the dictionary was inspired by the Bible. So the Bible was first, and then they were like, you know what? Let's teach the children the world. Okay, let's allow them to study the world and to understand the world even more. So let's take the Bible and make it visual. So this one, it's not like the regular dictionary that we all have. This one is more focused on the inventions, but I think these are really good inspo. So it talks to you about like all the stuff that you see in nature, basically, and they're telling you how they're produced, their usage, they're telling you the shapes, the texture. So yeah, and even the names of every phase of their life. Like for us, we say, like when you're just born, you say, oh, you're a baby, and then you're a toddler, and then or you're a you know. So that's the same thing when natural stuff are growing too. It's the same with flowers. It's the same with the caterpillar, the butterflies. Yeah, so I think these are really good start. And also another way to find inspiration is just by looking at people's movements, because you know body language is such a thing. You know, we've talked about the words, we've talked about the visual, but even movement, which is also a visual, but body movement says a lot. Okay, and here, you know, you have different examples of body movement. And for example, oops, sorry about that. Okay, for example, if I tell you, oh, he felt strong, he felt like a hero, are you gonna imagine someone who's like this hiding, or are you gonna imagine someone who's like, yes, very proud and very tall? You know, and when I say tall, I'm not talking about the height, but just like he's extending his body, you know, he's making himself look taller. So yes, so these are just ideas and discussions. So I wanted to get this out of the way. So make sure when you find inspiration that you don't go too far, because just right here with your own experience, your surroundings, and all the stuff that you know that you experienced, these are all you need for the next step. Okay, don't go around stuff that you don't understand, and even when you decide to go on Instagram and Pinterest, at least research what they mean. Research. Okay, so have a nice one. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.